I'm just
All right.
recording it right now. How you doing, Jarret?
Wonderful. How about you?
Good, good. Is that your crib behind you? Yeah, your.
Yeah, yeah. This is the office. The office. Yeah.
Is that where the magic
Where
happens
the
in the
magic
editing?
happens. That's right.
Thank you for spending the time with me talking about weddings. What's going on with you. I would love to hear more about what's going on right now, specifically with you.
It's crazy right now.
Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
as you know, it's a really weird time, and there's a lot of relocating and postponing and
Mhm.
cancellations and everything. It's interesting, and I feel bad for every couple that has to go through this right now. But
Mhm. I know
I'm
you had
doing
a wedding on April. You start April, right? For your
the last wedding I ended up shooting was March 14th, which for Rhode Island was 2 days after they closed everything down. So I was surprised this wedding actually went through because
Oh my God.
it shouldn't have, but it
Right,
was
right.
it was still fun. There's hand sanitizer everywhere. I felt bad for the bride because the guest list kept like dwindling throughout the day. While she's getting ready, she's getting texts and calls saying like, "Oh, they're not going to make it. These people aren't going to make it."
Oh my God.
I think it was the final total was 40 people ended up dropping out, which
And
was
it was like
she still kept her spirits up.
how many guests were supposed to be there during
It
that
was
time?
around in between like 180 and 200, I believe.
Oh my God. And I'm sure for you being there, you must felt so bad seeing that happening.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, she kept her spirits up. There was one cousin. She said that she was bummed that couldn't make it. Everyone else, she's like, it happens, and it's
Mhm.
understandable given the circumstances. The one
Okay.
thing that I didn't really think about till I was at the wedding, because I just assumed, it's going to be business as usual. There might be a few less people and a little bit more hand sanitizer. But
Mhm.
I went up to the DJ right before the ceremony. I just asked, like, "Oh, are you setting up any mics?" Like, "Nope, no mics from here on out." I was like, "Wow, yeah, that makes sense." I didn't think about that till in the moment.
Right.
I have lav mics and everything, so
Mhm.
the point where it was weird was hooking up lav mics to people giving the toasts. Just because I
Mhm.
always use the audio directly from the microphone, the deep patch into the DJ. So that was the only thing where, I was like, I hope this sounds good. And it actually sounded pretty good. I was kind of pumped on
Oh, was it? Good,
it.
good.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still
So,
like my audio. I use lav mics for mine as well. Like, I don't use like I still haven't like used the direct input like what you said. I haven't really
yeah.
like, played around with that. I just use like the Tascam DR10. I'm sure you have that.
Yeah, yeah, of course. That thing's beautiful.
I'm just curious. What does your shirt say, man? It's like mute.
Oh, is it backwards?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
like
yeah. Me Without You. It's a band.
oh, it's a band. Okay,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just caught my eye. I was just like mute with okay.
Yeah, well, I was wearing like a regular V-neck, but then my boobs looked really big, so I swapped it out to something a little bit more distracting.
Oh man, I can't believe I'm actually talking to JB Horn Film, man, behind the
No,
person
we've
behind
been
it.
chatting for a long time. It's nice to like actually get a face to face.
I
This is
know
kind of cool.
I've been talking with a lot of creators. It's just great to you feel more connected after the call, or just like what
Yeah.
we're talking right now. I just feel connected with you.
No, no, it's nice. I love
Yeah.
it.
So tell me, like, let's start off by like tell me like about your brand. How long have you been doing wedding videography, and like, well, tell me more about it. Like.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing the first wedding I ever shot was 2011.
Mhm.
And from there it was one wedding that year, or maybe two, I think, and then after that it was 12 or 13. Then all of a sudden it just started growing very quickly. At the time I was working a full-time job and doing this on the side, and then there was a point one year where I shot 50 weddings and worked a full-time Monday through Friday, as well as had a daughter around the house and
Mhm.
everything. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna have to make a choice. It's either gonna be working full-time at this terrible casino or like shooting wedding videos. And
Wait,
the choice
was
was
it? I thought
obvious.
you were working in a warehouse. You were
It was a
actually working.
warehouse at a casino. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah,
Because you
over
mentioned
in Rhode
you
Island,
mentioned.
it's Twin River. It's the only casino we have at this point. They did a lot of dog racing back in the day. That's where my dad worked for 30 years, so it was easy to get the
Okay.
job at the time, and it was comfortable and everything. But I hated the job. It was awful.
Oh man, so
And
you've been doing 50 weddings since then. Still doing 50 weddings now, huh?
yeah, yeah, I'm trying to peel that number back little by little each year. Uh, for 2020, I hit 50. And then I
Mhm.
told myself, 2021, I'm not going to go over 45.
Okay.
But with everything that's going on right now, I have no clue. Like,
Right,
there's so
right.
much uncertainty going on with what's happening in the world right now and everything. And, for all I have 50 weddings for 2020, and a
Mhm.
lot of them happen between, May and October. And if, you can not have gatherings of over 50, 100 people or whatnot till, let's say, September or October, all those people have to find another place. And
Mhm.
for 2021 right now, I checked the numbers, and I already have 35 weddings, and I was like, I need to like pump the brakes on that for a little bit, just to make sure that all my 2020 couples have somewhere to go given the
Mhm.
circumstance.
Right.
So what I did is, I put a temporary hold on booking weddings for 2021. I put it on my site, I put it on like my Instagram and everything. And so I made a calendar and like a website, in
Mhm.
addition to my website, for all my couples. So instead of having to reach out to me while they're going back and forth with their venue, the photographers and all their vendors trying to find a backup date or a new date, I just put my schedule up there and just said, you don't have to email me and wait for my response and then take that information back. Like, if you're talking to your venue, you could just pull up my website. You could see all the dates that I'm available or not available. So it
Mhm.
makes it a little bit easier for people, just as far as the time, because there's a lot of moving parts when you're trying to move your wedding.
Mhm.
So I'm just trying to be a little bit proactive with that, and uh, leave some openings for some people. And if I have to shoot over 50 weddings, that's going to happen.
Oh
It's
man,
it is what it is.
you were doing like I felt so you were doing great already. Like you were like that's your goal, right? 50 weddings a year. That's but you cut
Yeah, well, I'm
20.
trying to peel that back so I could, you know, because we've had this discussion, not on this podcast, but for me, what I do every 2 years, I kind of get to a point where, um, I don't want to say like I'm bored with what I'm doing, because I'm doing
Mhm.
something that is exciting, but maybe I get too comfortable doing what I'm
Mhm.
doing. So it's the same thing every 2 years. I hit this point where I'm just like, I want to try and revision what I'm doing and try and do it differently. So this past year, I hit that mark come like January or something. So I tried, offering different things as far as like doing engagement shoots, because not a
Mhm.
lot of videographers do that.
Right,
And to
right.
be able to use that footage in the highlight reel can yield some really cool results. One of the weddings that I did in February, they had a 6-year-old kid already.
I saw the
And
video. I think
yeah, it was
was
cool though,
that
because like having that engagement footage made that video like pop a lot more.
it was the one with the dog, right? With the dog
Yep,
on the leg.
the dog in the wheelchair,
Yeah, yeah.
which is
Yeah.
really funny because I have a French bulldog in a wheelchair.
Oh, really?
So we have like the same setup. So we like bonded over that and everything. I actually knew that bride for about 5 years. She was in the wedding party of a wedding that I shot 5 years back, and she was really cool, and we stayed connected and everything. So
Right. That
it
was
was,
a really powerful video. Me and Maggie, my girlfriend, watched it together, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is like." She started crying, and like it was
yeah,
just really powerful. You know how
yeah.
you
There's
ex-
one point while I was editing it, I called my wife in, and I was like, just take a look at this. It was like a minute and a half into it. Like, as soon as the son, Carter, started doing his vows to her,
Mhm.
and I looked at my wife and I'm like, I'm actually getting, like, I'm so emotionally invested in this right now. I'm not sure if this is good or not. I need you to tell me. And her reaction was, getting emotional as well. I was like, all right, I'm on to something here,
Is that the first time you were doing the engagement shoot? That was like one of the work that you did at first.
Yeah, that was the first one, which, it's another reason why this whole situation kind of sucks, because when you get
Mhm.
in your head and say, like, you're going to try different things and re-envision what you're doing, um, and then all of a sudden, they smack a hammer down and say, no, you can't do that anymore.
Mhm.
I'm like jonesing right now, because I have all these ideas and these things that I want to try out and do differently, but I don't have any weddings to do them right now. So I'm
Mhm.
going crazy. I'm ready to start my daughter and me started making a music video covering a JoJo Siwa song. So
Oh, really?
I'm going crazy over here. She's trying
Oh,
to
man.
start her own YouTube channel now. She's 6 years old, and anytime you put a camera on her, she like signs off saying like, "All right, hit the subscribe button." She doesn't even
Oh,
have a
really?
channel.
You do the editing.
Yeah, it's nuts. We're going crazy over here.
Oh man. So how's your so it's April, May. So how's your May looking, or June?
Well, all my Aprils got postponed. And there's like little bits here and there. May so far, I still have 2 more weddings that haven't postponed yet.
Okay.
I'm feeling they're gonna. June, there's a few that have already postponed, a few that are trying to like stick it out. July, same thing. August, they're starting to come up with a plan B. And for right now, what I'm doing is I'm holding dates for couples as a backup plan for right now. Just because, everything is so up in the air. There's no decisions being made right now as far as is their wedding definitely going to go on. Like, it's so uncertain, and I just feel really bad for these couples. So that's what I've been trying to do, is just trying to make room for them for a worst case scenario. And like I said, I already hit 35 weddings for 2021. Like, I'm fortunate where I'm in a good position to do something like that. So that's been working out. And I recently started unemployment today. I just got that in.
Oh, good. So that's like I like about you, Jarret, is that like you're really humble, especially like at the times like this. Like you're relying on this type of job. Like this is your full-time job, and like it must be an intense feeling.
Yeah, you do have to approach this situation with like a little bit of compassion too, because these couples, it's their dream wedding. They've been planning it for so long. And then something like this happens where no one would have expected it to happen. It just came completely out of nowhere and just turned everything upside down. So for me to, lay down the law and say, oh, there's going to be a rescheduling fee on top of everything because now like this has impacted me as well. It just seems unfair in my opinion. And I would be really pissed off if someone did that if I was in that situation. So I always try and look at what I'm doing from the couple's perspective as opposed to, that's why I always like to, get started on the editing process a little bit quicker instead of waiting a certain period of time before I open up the files, because they're still happy and running off the high of their wedding. I want them to see something a little bit sooner than having to wait 4 to 5 months for a video.
Right.
That, and I'm usually very excited to edit too. That's like putting the puzzle pieces together. Love it.
I like how you really look at the couple's perspective. Like we talked before, and you mentioned it to me that like you don't call your couples client, you call them couples. So
yeah, I hate the word client. It's one of those things like it just irks me. And I just switched over to. Have you heard of Honeybook?
No. Yeah, I have. Yes.
So it's like a way to keep track of contracts and everything like that. And everywhere it says client's name, and I'm like, I want to change it so bad.
Well, once you said that to me, I've been using the term instead of clients. It's just I use couples because that's like I feel like that goes a long way when you just say it. Like you see them as couples, not just clients.
For me, like because that just what I always do when I talk to couples on the phone and everything. I try and take as much of the business aspect out of it because I hate it personally. Like I hate the idea of talking about money and talking about just what's included in the package and everything like that. When I talk to the couples, I just want to get to know them a little bit, get to know their personalities, and hear what TV shows they're watching together, and you can get like a good sense of who they are when you hear about where they came from and everything like that.
I feel like vendors like you succeed the most because like you build this like the best like client, couple to vendor relationship.
You said clients, I heard it.
I went on your Facebook at that one time, and then I looked all over like every reviews that you have is like every the couples that reviewed you was like really like they were your friend pretty much. And it was so cool seeing that like all your reviews were like really genuine and like it seems like from a friend, and I felt like you did that for.
No, I mean that's a bonus too. But like we are friends at the end of the day, like because on their wedding day, it's their most important day with 150 of their closest family and friends. They could be around anyone, but really they're spending more time with us than anyone else throughout the entire day. we're there every minute, you know, while they're getting ready. We're there for all the pictures, the ceremony. Like by the end of the night, it's like we've been in the trenches together, you know, not that, you know, a wedding is considered like war or anything like that, but we've been through a lot that day. By the end of the day, it's just like we have so many inside jokes and everything like that. And I like to keep things light too, you know, especially when it's time for the portrait session. I just goof off most of the time. Like I know what I'm doing as far as how I'm filming everything, but the stuff that is coming out of my mouth can be very absurd and, you know, a little higher than PG-13 sometimes. You feel out the couples, and you, like I said, you get a sense of their personality. If they're like party people that like to goof off and have fun, like that's what we do in those moments. And then when they get the video back, you know, you see like the happy smiles, but and laughing, but you don't see that like, oh, hey, look at each other and laugh, because their mouths laugh, but then their eyes get really buggy, like, oh, this is so uncomfortable. And I like to try and get like the genuine moments out of there by kind of like forcing myself to be a little bit of a jackass to get it.
That's so right now you're doing this solo, right? I know you mentioned you had a second videographer, but
yeah, I was using a second shooter for about 2 years. Before that, I was doing it solo, and I was very excited at the idea of a second shooter. It worked out. He was a great guy. It was just I really like shooting everything myself, and another way of, you know, trying to reinvent the wheel every 2 years. I just started shooting things differently to the point where I feel like I didn't need a second shooter. Because what we would do, you know, especially during the ceremony, I would set up you know, a master camera at the end. I never go directly in the middle of the aisle because I do like to get center aisle shots with like the gimbal and everything. So I'd set it off to the side so the photographers and I would have a clear shot of an aisle, and that's pretty much just for raw footage. And then when they would say their vows, we would both like flank it on either side and just kind of shoot towards the couple like this. And I was like, well, what if instead of putting a master camera over here, I put two on either side, like one here, and those are always just shooting the vows. So then that gives me freedom to like get reaction shots and things that I wasn't doing before.
So
just really
so you have cameras in the side of the group, like facing to the groom and facing to the bride.
Yes.
Okay. I was just like, because I know you have a bunch of reaction shots. Like, are you doing this alone or like?
Yeah, no, because, you know, with those, I'm getting the vows, and I'm getting those are working as my master cameras, so that when they get, you know, the footage of just the ceremony, I can multicam between those. And usually I have a gimbal, and I let that roll the entire time. And when I'm not using it, I just plop it in the center aisle.
Right.
It's facing the couple. So now I have 3 cameras on the couple while they're saying their vows the entire time, and that gives me freedom to go wherever I want and get reaction shots if there's tears, or, you know, just collect a bunch of shots like that. So I'm actually using my cameras more wisely, as opposed to just having more people do that.
I'm sorry to ask you questions like related to weddings, but
I like that.
My question is you're using a Sony camera. I know. What are you using for the one that was facing the bride and groom? Is it the Sony A7 III?
Yeah. So I have 3 A7 IIIs and 1 A7S II.
Do they overheat by any chance when you're doing weddings?
I've never had a problem with overheating. Correction, my Sony A7S II overheats like a motherfucker. Oh, sorry. I can swear on this, right?
What?
I can let a swear sneak out every now and then.
Go ahead. You can.
Probably happen. I'm not gonna lie.
So you have a Sony A7 III.
Overheat a little bit, so I use that one sparingly. I use that as I'll use that for the ceremony, and then I'll use that for like time lapses and things where there's not too much going for it. So basically, my setup is I always have 2 cameras ready to go on tripods at any point. But throughout the entire day, I just wear a camera around my neck with an 85, and then I'll have a camera on a gimbal that I go back and forth between like a 25 and a 40.
Okay.
And
I thought you were using the 24 to 70 for your gimbal.
I stopped that. That.
How so?
I just missed being able to stop down a little bit and having a little bit more wide open of an aperture, because before I swapped over to Sony's, the Sony was my way of being able to start using a gimbal, because before that I was on a C100 Mark II, and I would constantly be swapping lenses. It was a 24, 35, and 85. That was my setup. And switching to a Sony and a 24 to 70 was my way of kind of being lazy at, but being able to be a little bit quicker. You know, I didn't have to worry about swapping lenses. I just go like that, and then boom, I'm there. But portrait sessions being like at a 2.8 was so much different than like a 1.4 the entire time. Because I would just shoot, because the C100 Mark II has built-in ND filters. It was gorgeous. I love that camera. I miss it. I love the Sonys for separate reasons, but just the C100 worked out really well for me. I just wanted to go with something a little bit more lightweight, and so I did the 24-70. I did that for 2 years, and I got to a point where it's like I don't have that like soft background like I used to. You know, I really started to miss that. So I swapped over to like the Zeiss Batis series lenses, and that's what I've been using for the past 5 or 6 weddings, and who knows when the next time I'm going to get to use them.
So the Zeiss 25 and 45, you said, right?
25 and 40. And the 40 is cool because it's like a close focus, so it kind of feels like a macro too. So being able to try and do some stuff with that is different. But the 85, the Zeiss Batis 85, is one of my favorite lenses I've ever used. And I'll just rock handheld on 85, almost exclusively handheld throughout the entire day. And I love it.
You said 85, which one is that again?
It's 85 1.8. It's the Zeiss Batis.
Oh, the Zeiss. Okay. I'm kind of getting more information from your gears because, like, you know, I watch a lot of your videos and they're so crisp. Maybe it's also like you upload it through Vimeo, which can be a better quality, correct?
Yeah, I've just always uploaded off of Vimeo. When I started, I didn't do YouTube just because Vimeo just always looked better.
Right.
And it's one of those things, like, I know YouTube, you get more access and you get it in front of more eyes. But I find that, you know, people post a link on Facebook anyway. So I've been trying to upload to Facebook a little bit more so that they could just share it, so it starts playing automatically without having to click an external link. Starting to try and utilize Instagram. I'm terrible at social media. Been like that for so long.
I did see that you did some renovation in your Instagram, though. You did a bunch.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was planning on doing a website relaunch, and I had it all planned. And then, you know, the coronavirus ended up hitting the day my website pretty much launched. So I'm kind of glad I got all that stuff out of the way now, because I feel like there's going to be a lot of people doing that now because they have that spare time. They're going to say, oh, we should start rebranding. And I don't have to do that right now because I already got that out of the way, which was nice. So that was kind of like a complete rehaul with, you know, Facebook, Instagram, and the website, just because I've never done it. I could care less about websites. I always had like the bare amount of information. Just because I'm pretty much a word of mouth business. You know, I will film a wedding, that couple will post their video, other people will see that video and say, oh, that guy did a good job, I would like to, you know, talk to him. And that's how I get 98% of, you know, weddings. So I felt like a website was just to show that I'm legitimate almost.
Right.
But then I just hated the look of it, and it was like embarrassing to actually go on it myself. So I was like, I should spruce this up a little bit, make it look a little nicer.
I did see that in your website, your old website compared to your new website. You know, I felt like I see websites now too, because I didn't have a great website until like recently too. I'm still like renovating mine, but I just realized that that's a great value. Like if you have a good website, it really makes a difference. And I feel like couples value websites. Like I felt like, or it just adds like value to your, you know, company, a great website. So I'm still learning about branding as well, like branding myself.
Yeah, I'm terrible at it. It's one of those things like I just wanted something that like looked like my style almost, like as far as like a logo and everything like that, because you know, there's a lot of very cookie cutter style things where, you know, you see the ring inside of a camera as a logo, and it just seems too on the nose, you know. And for me personally, like with my videos, with my weddings, my favorite thing is just being outdoors. So I want to try and come up with something that looks like it should be outdoors the entire time.
Right.
I love portrait sessions are my favorite time throughout a wedding day. Just, you know, because it usually happens at that beautiful moment with the sun coming through the background, going through like nice wooded area, or when we're in Newport, like you got the water there.
Hmm.
I just like being outdoors, get me out of the country club and into a tent. I'm happy. Or like a nice barn with the doors wide open.
Right, right. So most of your weddings right now are located in Long Island, but you do travel everywhere, right? Like
Rhode Island, not Long Island.
oh, Rhode Island. I thought it were the same place.
Nope, a lot of people do. We're actually one of the original 13 colonies as far as states.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, no, Rhode Island. So
Rhode Island.
we're like in between Connecticut and Massachusetts, pretty much.
Okay. I
And
think I'm not sure if you've shot a wedding in a St. June Flowers, a venue, St. June Flowers.
doesn't sound familiar.
No, I've been getting inquiries from actually maybe it's from Long Island or Rhode Island. Because you mentioned like you did mention my names, but I felt like suddenly I've been getting a bunch of inquiries from around your maybe it's Rhode Island or Long Island, but I've been
Yeah, well, Long Island is part of New York, and Rhode Island is its own state. But
okay.
we're the smallest state, so no one ever. It's a very common thing. Like back in the day, I used to be in bands. We used to tour and everything, and we'd say we're from Rhode Island. They're like, "Oh, cool! I love New York." And it's like we're not New York. We're Rhode Island. We're our own state.
Oh no way! I didn't.
It's the smallest state though. Like we're like just a blip on the huge map.
Right. So you mentioned you were in a band before.
Yeah, yeah. For a bunch of different bands, like pretty much all through high school, after high school, that was kind of like my main focus was music. And then, after that, with bands, you rely so much on other people.
Right,
and I would get frustrated with schedules not lining up. Like I want to play music with a band right now, but this person can't do it. But when it comes to video, like I could take a camera and just go outside and film some stuff and edit it myself and do it on my own schedule whenever I wanted to do it. And that's kind of like what helped that transition. I still play every now and again, but not in bands or anything like that. I'll just record some stuff in here on the computer and not send it to anyone, just for myself.
That's great that it all worked out for you. You have like your community of clients there in Rhode Island. And
Rhode Island, there you go.
It's been working out great for you, man. Like that's really, you have your own community, like you mentioned, like everyone knows you. And my question is like, what is it like being a videographer there? Because I'm located in Albany and my style is so different from the videographers here. So, and I feel like my videos are so different, like from the ones videographers here. And I feel like it kind of turns off some couples because like maybe, I don't know, but like for your video is like, it's unique, but like do other videographers offer the same, style of video?
I don't know. I am terrible when it comes to keeping up with what's going on in my area. For the longest time, when I shot my first wedding, I've never seen a wedding video. I just put up with cameras and because I was making horror movies, music videos, live performances, just anything that I could film, I was filming at one point. So that, oh, hi!
Maggie.
What's going on? I just saw the door open. I was like, oh, it's a serial murderer.
Maggie, come here.
I'm just doing my online classes.
Oh, nice. Is that fun?
Oh, no, not fun at all, but it's okay. Nice to meet you, though. I've heard a lot about you. We've been stalking your videos and everything.
Oh, nice. I've heard about you, Maggie, right?
Yes, nice to meet you.
I keep telling her about the Valley View Fire because we shot wedding there. I was like, this is the most amazing. I keep looking.
Oh, I love that place.
Video. I was obsessed with that video.
Yeah, that place is gorgeous. I just want to be back there all the time. Love that place.
Yeah. How are you doing with everything?
Good. I mean, we're cabin fever. We ended up getting like a basketball hoop and things to kind of keep ourselves occupied.
Oh, that's good.
As far as like business, it's kind of on hold right now, which it is what it is. How are you guys holding up?
We're doing good. He showed me your most recent video, the one with
the kid.
I mean, we're always watching your videos, but that video was incredible.
Oh, thank you.
So much.
Well, it was all the couple,
I mean, the couple had a great story, so I love that. But it was. You did a wonderful job telling your story.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. That one was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to edit and put all that stuff together.
Yeah, it came out great.
I'm very excited because I'm actually filming her sister's wedding hopefully in September.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
to see everyone again and everything like that. And I knew a lot of people that were at that wedding just because she was a bridesmaid in a wedding that I did 5 years ago. So it's always nice seeing familiar faces at weddings because you could be like, hey, go do this. This will be like, pet this dog. It looks cute. And they'll do it, you know?
Yeah, I actually have the same dog as them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, with the wheelchair, right?
Yep, French. We have a French bulldog in a wheelchair. We have an old English bulldog. We have a cat going around here somewhere. There's
Oh my God.
pretty much outnumbered by animals in this
At
house.
least you're not too lonely at home then.
No. Well, that's one thing I'll never be is lonely.
Well, that's great. I'm gonna keep. He's always showing me your videos, so I'll keep an eye out. But I hope everything goes well. Hopefully, you're not gonna lose too many couples. I know it's kind of a time.
Well, you too. It was nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
Take it easy.
So me, Maggie, usually do weddings together, and she's kind of my sidekick. We're kind of like,
Yeah.
I mean, I came to this wedding industry shooting video with no experience at all. It's just like the first wedding, man. It was terrible because it was my first one. I had a Sony mirrorless camera, Sony A6300, one lens, and we went all the way to Massachusetts. She was there with me, and it was kind of crazy because halfway during the ceremony, my camera overheated.
Yeah.
So it was just like when I ended up, I gave the oh my God, this is so bad. But I ended up giving the bride the footage that was like pitch black, most of it. But what I did was just overlaying it with overlaying with the scenes that was covering the officiant's mouth. So I pretty much just like replayed the same video all over again, thinking that it was playing.
Yeah.
So it was just like, it was just like my worst first experience, and I'm sure you have like experiences that I know you mentioned that you were like
first weddings are like the weirdest thing because it's a whole different world, and
it is.
There's pressure, because if you don't get the first kiss, like what happens with the video after that, like it's insane. And how long ago was your first wedding?
What's that?
How long ago was this?
That was probably like 2 years ago. Like even last year, I'm still getting started to, like last year I was just getting paid under the table most of the time. I feel like even now, but next year, that's when I'm going to try to become official pretty much. I'm going to be charging 2,300, but I've been just learning from a lot of people like you, like giving me like encouragement, and I feel like it's going to be happening where I'm going to do this full time next year. So I'm just really excited for that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's like I said, your videos are incredible. And I haven't seen many videos, but I like what you've been doing.
I'm still learning, but
I'm saying that as a whole for like I said, I don't really watch wedding videos.
Right.
I don't really have too much context for what's going on.
Mm-hmm. That's so cool because like you're not really influenced by it's your own style, your videos, and it's how it comes out. It's just like your style.
It's just trying a bunch of different things. Like the nice thing about weddings is you can try something different at every wedding, and as long as you're delivering something that is emotional and heartfelt and that the couple can look back on and be like, oh, this properly represents our day. As long as you do that, you have so much freedom to play around with a lot.
Right. My question to you is, where I'm going through my company is pretty much giving out my couple's 5-minute highlight reel and like raw footage pretty much. But I feel like, you do 50 weddings and like 40 to 50 weddings, but like, what's the setback of that? Like the con of like doing this kind of giving that product to clients? Because I know like you're working a lot, 50 weddings, but like, I feel like in the future, do you see yourself like going down or offering different kind of services? Like
honestly, since I started off, my package hasn't changed as far as what I offer. Because I like the highlight reel is the thing that I look forward to doing. That's the thing that I want to do for the wedding.
Right.
I give all the raw footage as well, but the way that I do that is I spruce it up a little bit just because I don't want to hand over, 800 individual clips, which has all of my mistakes on there and everything, So what I do is I take everything into a timeline. I like crossfade it with each other just to make sure
Yeah.
I have stuff I don't want them to see. And when it comes to the ceremony, I'll actually sit and do a multi-camera edit with that. So
Okay.
the raw footage is like spruced up a little bit, but it doesn't take that long to assemble as far as the time for it. And I always tell the couple, like, I don't care about the raw footage. Like, I'm in it to make this highlight reel as best as it can be. The raw footage is just more or less like, you would get better use out of this footage than I would. So I'm going to give it to you. And I just, neaten it up a little bit. The stuff that I'm looking to offer that's different is just ways to improve the highlight reel. Because that's, like I said, that's what I want to do. And that's the thing that people want. They're not putting their raw footage on Facebook. They're not putting their raw footage, like sending it to everyone. They're playing that highlight reel. So I want to start doing more engagement sessions to incorporate in there and like extend the length a little bit. Do rehearsal dinners if there's good speeches or anything like that. Just something to boost up the highlight reel a little bit because, like I said, that's where my heart is in all of this. That's why I do this, is to make those things as cool as they can be for the couples to show off.
Right. And I talked to a videographer that's also like giving a 5-minute to 6-minute highlight reel, and he still has trouble with like encounter clients that are like, is this the video? And I feel like it's like they're kind of expecting more minutes into their highlight reels. But do you still have trouble with that, or do you just communicate that?
I every conversation that we have, I kind of say, like, I tell them why I do what I do and what they get out of it. And I also send them a questionnaire that kind of just like this breakdown of everything. I send that to them before we hop on the phone call, and I specifically say in the email, like, here's all the information that you should have. And I want to take all the business stuff out of it. So here's everything, so that when we talk, we could just talk, and in that it says, the highlight reel is the 5-minute video. Like, it's a 5-minute video. That's what I'm doing. And then I'm giving you raw footage, and here's what that is and the difference between the two of them. And when I talk to couples on the phone, I'm very adamant that, the 5-minute highlight reel is the thing that I'm working for the entire day.
Right.
In the contract, it says 5-minute highlight reel. Like, that's, so I make sure that they're very aware of what they're getting. And I always tell them, because sometimes, because I keep all my information on my website, which I guess is not a common thing for people to do, they already know what they're getting when they get in touch with me, because everything's so clear on the website. But sometimes, people reach out just because they don't have to, my information's all there, so they don't have to email and ask me for my pricing and everything. It's a lot clearer than other videographers in this area. So whenever we have a call, I always ask them, like, have you seen a video? Did you go on the website? Did you see it from a couple or something like that? And just kind of get their opinion on that. And so it's like, all right, so I know they've seen a 5-minute video and they reach out to me because of that. So they should be they should know that that's what they're getting and that's what they want. And I always tell the couples, like, I want you to be more excited with what you're getting. Like, I want you to be excited for that highlight reel rather than, having no hourly limit during the day or things like that. Just because, that's the thing that you're going to walk away with at the end of the day. That's the thing that you're going to have forever. So I want them to be more excited about that video that they're getting. And a lot of people, there's some people that don't understand that when we have a phone call. They say, like, they think that the running time is going to be better if it's longer. Some people ask, do you do 15-minute edits? And I just say no. I say, that's not something that I'm interested in. If I were to do that, what I would be doing is dropping in a lot of filler stuff, stuff that I just don't think represents, like, what I want to do with your wedding and the way that your wedding flew, like the flow of the wedding day and everything like that. So I just say, like, that's honestly just something I'm not interested in. And there's other people that offer that, and there's plenty of them in this area. But for me, the 5-minute video is because people have short attention spans too.
Right.
When I first started off, I shot a wedding, and it was like, I think it was like my third or fourth. Speaking of nightmare stories,
I want to hear this.
It's not too much of a nightmare, but like when I first talked to, my contract was so weak. And when I first talked to the couple, the dad was there and he was like a lawyer, and he clearly said like,
oh man,
I'm going to sign this contract because I can get anything out of this guy almost. It was such a bad contract, didn't specify, you know, what they were getting or anything. It's just basically like, I'm going to show up that day and film. Cool.
Right.
So I delivered the video, and at that time it was a 7-minute video, I think, because I slowly started trying to like cut out all the filler, you know, and just make it like really tight. But at the time it was 7 minutes long, and he's like, oh, we were under the assumption this was going to be a half hour. So if you could add 20 like, you know, add this much minutes to it, 23 minutes, then we're good. And I was like, oh shit, I have to make like a half hour highlight reel, and I didn't shoot with that in mind, you know.
Oh man,
so
no.
And everything, I was like reckless with it. And I said to them, they're like, all right, great, thanks. And on Vimeo, you know, you could track. I told them, I was like, I'm going to send this to you, but I'm going to put a password on it, just because I don't want, you know, this isn't what I do. I don't want other people to see this and say like, oh, we want that, because that's not what I offer. So he agreed to that. So I sent them the video. To this day, they've never even finished the video. And I check like once a year just to like solidify the fact that like people don't really want longer videos. They think they do because they think it's, you know, more is better, but it's not necessarily better, and it can wear out its welcome. People have very short attention spans these days. So, you know, I've went back and cut like 15-minute videos sometimes in the winter when someone reaches out, like, and I just thought the couple was really cool. We jived well. I was like, yeah, I'll do you this favor. And I do it, and I was just like, I can do it. I don't really find joy in doing it. And the view count, they're not watching it as much as they think they're gonna, you know. So I just stick with the 5 minutes, and that's what I like. That's
right. And how you shoot throughout the wedding day is like specifically for that, because like how I shoot my wedding, it's like specifically for the 5-minute video. I wouldn't like, you know, because I had a situation where this couple, I mentioned it to you on Indian wedding over the summer, and it was like I had to make a 30-minute video. They kind of tried to lowball me, like, oh, pay $200, we'll give you $200 extra, because like they were paying me $1,600 something, and then we'll add it like $200 to $300. We're gonna, you know, and if you can add a 30-minute video, which I did, and it was the longest time. It was the worst experience I ever had.
It's just it's something that's not enjoyable for me as like an editor, you know, because I just feel like I'm throwing stuff in, like I don't like this, but I need to hit that time limit.
Right.
And that's something that's it's compromising what you're doing, if you ask me. Just because, you know, I want to deliver something that I can stand by. That's what I've been saying since day one. That's why I don't have like hourly limits or different packages or things like that. Like I just want to say, you know, I'm going to show up to this wedding. I'm going to try and knock it out of the park and deliver something that I'm going to say, like, that's the best possible video I could have done today. And if I can't do that, I don't really want to do it. So, you know, sometimes there's some people that reach out where, you know, my price is a little bit higher than what they're expecting. And they ask, you know, is there anything that we can shave off of this package? And I was like, not really, you know, because then I'm sacrificing what I'm giving you. And that's not what I want to do. I just want to deliver, you know, something that I can stand by and I can put my name on and say, like, no matter what could have happened that day, like I put in my time, I put in the work, and I delivered something that I can say, this is the best I could have done.
Right. What's your, do you still have any problems that you encounter with what you're offering right now, or with clients? Like, do you get like any problem, like major encounters, like problems?
No, I mean, every couple that I work with is always the coolest people. I'm like super, super lucky, just because, you know, like I said, it's a lot of word of mouth. So a lot of people that I'm shooting weddings for, I've already bumped into, or they've already seen me at a wedding, like, you know, goofing off a little bit, or there's been a few weddings where I've done like I've had to do the worm on the dance floor or something.
Oh, really?
In the bottles, and it lands on me, and I don't want to be that videographer that's like, all right, just filming it. Like, get involved a little bit. Don't be afraid to do those kind of things, because I've booked weddings because they like, we saw you do the worm at a wedding, and like the video was great, but we just thought like that was awesome. And I was like, all right,
right.
That's all it took. I'll do the worm at every wedding. But it's I'm lucky in the sense that, like, I don't really have, the last nightmare story I've had was maybe around 6 years ago. And it was, just someone that, it was before I would have conversations with couples.
Mm-hmm.
Like, sometimes people would just email me and say like, we'd love to book you for our wedding. And I was like, oh, cool. Here's the contract.
Right.
After that wedding, I was just like, I want to talk to couples. I want to get to know them a little bit better because I can deliver a better video if I know what their story is and like what beats to hit during that day. And B, I want to know if we're going to jive together during the day,
Mm-hmm.
So after that, it's been great. And every couple that they honestly become friends by the end of the day. Like anytime, I post something on Instagram, they comment back, and then we catch up for a little bit. And
Right.
especially like the Valley View Farm, Britt and Andrew, like those, people like those are just like people that I'm glad to have in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like I'm just making friends throughout.
Right.
It's nice,
So I know like you haven't have any big problems. So in the future, do you see yourself like, I know like I asked this question before where like you might see different videographers popping. I think someone's in there, Luke. Oh, I'm sorry about that, Jarret.
No worries. What's going on?
Someone's I'm in Maggie's office, like Dad's office, and someone's just knocking.
Oh.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. Spin me around. I'll take care of this.
You know where her mailbox is? I don't. I'm still recording this, so at the end, I'm gonna compile this and then put this on my Instagram.
That's fine. I'm totally cool with that.
Yeah. We went in hold now. Technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Where I'm going back at it is just that I feel like Instagram has become a thing where I mentioned it to you. I've been getting a bunch of clients there just because of like, I made my Instagram look like, like a shop, kind of like the Hudson Valley Creative, if you've seen it. But I've been getting a bunch of clients there, and I felt like I had the world in my hand because like what I've been doing is just going to venues and then picking a venue that I like and then following the couples there. And eventually I get like 1 to 2 inquiries from that venue. So it's just like, I feel like Instagram has become a tool for me to get more clients. Do you ever see yourself I feel like word of mouth is never gonna die out, but like, I feel like in the future, do you think like your business might be, with other videographers that could like,
word of mouth is a terrible business model, like I should be doing more. Like it's been fine right now, but it's not going to be fine forever, and I'm an old fart when it comes to, social media and everything like that. I'm trying to get better. And I know that it's there for those reasons and you can really take advantage of it. And like you said, you can make it work for yourself. I need to do it. I would like to do it. I just haven't done it yet.
You mentioned you wanted to rebrand yourself, but you just don't really know how.
It's like as far as I feel like the rebranding that I did was, with the website and everything, like that's done now, and it's been working out really well. As far as I'm starting to get, I've gotten quite a few couples off of Instagram and everything like that. Like I rebranded. What's today? The 20th, 420? No, but I rebranded almost exactly a month ago, and since then I've booked 12 weddings now.
Through Instagram. Is it
not through Instagram? Through Instagram, maybe like 3 or 4 of them. Like I'm getting more leads from Instagram.
Okay.
But they're doing it the way that I want. I don't want people messaging me on Instagram saying like, "Hey, are you available this day?" I want them going to the website so that they can see the package and everything like that. So I have been getting inquiries not directly through like a DM, but going to my website from Instagram, which is nice because I actually like noticed that. You inspired me on one thing, whereas as far as like using the Instagram IGTV, post that in the stories and having that story as like that little highlight.
Right.
Highlighted stories. I was like, oh, that's a good idea. So actually came across your thing and I was like, oh, I'm gonna steal that. So I did. Thank you. But it's just another way. Like I'm setting the Instagram up like your website.
Right.
People will go there. They don't necessarily have to go to the website, but I hope that they do because I put a lot of work into that too. So it's nice to like get the eyes on that as well.
Right.
So I like with the website rebranding, it was also trying to boost up SEO because before that I was using Wix, and I guess they're terrible with SEO because my page was like buried at like 7 or 8 when it comes to Rhode Island wedding videographers, and now I'm I think at page 1 or page 2 just from switching to Squarespace.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So stay away from Wix, or actually add text on your website because before, like my website literally had 0 text. My price had I had like the pricing breakdown, and then a quick thing that said like contact me here on my contact page.
Right.
Aside from that, there was no text whatsoever.
No, I did see your before and after website, and like it was a huge improvement that you have in your new one. It's more like it's like clarity. It's more you clarify everything. The other one was just kind of like just posted like this is what you're getting.
Yep.
It's not really
I did that because like I also hate talking about myself.
Right.
Like so the about me page I made as a complete joke, and I've been recycling that since my first website. That about me page I've been using for 9 years now.
Right.
I actually like tried taking that and like making a story out of it instead to kind of like go with the fact that with the wedding videos I'm trying to tell stories. So I was like I should tell my story for this so that everyone kind of like we're all on the same page now. So that's kind of like the rebranding is going more for like storytelling over everything. Like obviously the video should look nice, that's a bonus. But I've been trying to, for example, that video with the dog in the wheelchair and everything. Like, I feel like you get a genuine sense of the story when you watch that video.
Right.
And that's what I'm hoping to do more, and just try and dig into like personal aspects with that. And I feel like rehearsal dinners and engagement sessions might help that a little bit because you're spending more time with the couple. You're getting more visuals that you could add to it, and you're getting more audio clips that like, oh hey, now you can get a genuine sense of this person from that audio bit and things like that. So I'm just playing around with it for now.
Right. And no, dude, like you inspired me with like what you're doing. It's working out for you, and that's really where I want to go with my brand. Like offering what you're offering, and then just building that community and like word of mouth pretty much. And it's kind of hard doing it at first because like you don't really have other people referring you because you don't have enough work. But like I feel like I'm building myself, and I felt like it's just inspiring that it worked out for you because like that's where I'm going at, and I'm sure I'm gonna enjoy what I'm gonna be doing. Because
you're definitely on your way, man. You are on your way, and your videos are great. They speak for themselves. And if there's any advice that I can give people, it's more like just be yourself. Like half of it is personality. Like you don't want to be that person that people don't want around.
Right.
Don't be afraid to speak up and say something because people are gonna. If you want a specific shot or, something, you want 5 more minutes with the couple, don't be afraid to ask them for it.
Right.
Because it's also, they're going to look back and say like, oh, he wanted to make this better. He wanted to do that, So I always just say, be yourself. Because for me, when I was starting, I was just a wedding videographer. I was just, point and shoot. That's it.
That's what I'm doing.
you automatically think that like your best role in that day is taking a step back, being a fly on the wall and filming what's happening. But I found that, the more weddings where I started to kind of just have conversations and just not be afraid to be myself and goof off a little bit. Cause I'm naturally like, I swear, I drink, I'm like a goofy person. I like to joke around. You ask my wife, like I can't have serious conversations. They always have to have some kind of dad joke or something in there.
Right.
Once I started doing that more, like people started responding to it more. And I was just like, that's the brand in itself is just being yourself. Like I want to be the person that's doing a good job, but also someone where, they don't want to be like, oh, there's the videographer. Like there's that guy. Because you already have the cards stacked against you. No one likes cameras in their face, and you're the guy that's putting the camera in their face. So
Right.
naturally, if you were to walk up with a camera and, you know, they're getting ready for a first look, he's already really nervous because he doesn't know how he's going to react. He's going to see, you know, his bride, the bride for the first time. And then you come walking up with a camera. It's like, oh, now here's that guy filming me the entire day. Like,
Mhm.
you already have like the deck stacked against you. So I just like to, you know, be myself and just have fun with it. Not be afraid to like be friends with them after a certain point. Goof off, have inside jokes and things like that, because it
Mhm.
makes the day way better too, and makes the couple happier. It makes me happier. It makes me feel like every wedding I'm like, I love what I do. Like my work day was just at this beautiful mansion with a gorgeous sunset overlooking like this bridge, like picturesque quality stuff. And then like, you know, I'm getting paid doing work, but like I'm at a party.
Right. Right.
I'm just at a
Never
party.
gets old, huh?
Like, I'm hanging out with the coolest people at the party all day.
Right.
Like everyone at this party is looking towards these two people, and like those are my buds now. You know, it's incredible that like you can actually consider this work after
Right.
some.
Right.
Like, there's a
Does it
lot of
ever
work.
feel like work to you?
I mean, yeah, like for me, it's always the first walking in for the first moment, like walking into all the girls getting ready because you know
Right.
there's
Right.
10 girls like half dolled up and you come in with cameras around that you get that look like I'm not ready to get a camera on me right now. What's this guy doing with a camera here?
Right.
Uh,
Right.
so that like moment of like, but after 5 minutes, you know, you walk in, you make a few jokes.
Uh-oh. I think.
And then like, I always find, you know, if they're doing a first look, that's the moment where, oh, it says my internet is unstable, whatever that means.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good now. I can.
All right. But yeah, like once you kind of get the couple together and once you feel that their nerves are kind of dulled down a little bit, that's when you can really start having fun with it, you know? So
Right.
I feel like that moment, like once the couple is together for the first time that day, that's when it's just like, all right, now we're all having fun, you know?
Right. Right. That's what you said. I'm just like thinking about the weddings, that incoming weddings. Just like it's, I'm sure it's like, you know, you've been doing this for a while, and I feel like it's really fun for you. I feel like I still have trouble being confident with it in front of my couples, and I feel like that's something I need to work on and
Yeah.
be comfortable, because I feel like it does feel like it's not. You feel like you're not working when you feel just comfortable with, you know, with your couples, and that's what I'm working on. So.
My trick for that, because, you know, a long time ago, I stopped doing it since, but it was a way to get the couple laughing, but also
Give
kind
me
of
some
like,
tips. I want to hear it.
no, what I used to do, like when I'd ask them to do something, like, oh, like stand over here, grab each other's face, like start kissing, and I just like, after I film, I just go, man, I'm so awesome, and like talk about how awesome I am.
Oh,
And,
really?
like that was like a
Did it
defense
help?
mechanism. I used to say it every wedding, but like they would like number one, they would laugh because you don't hear someone say that. I didn't really mean it at the like, you know, it's like the one shot that I get during the day that I get super jazzed about, and when I get that shot, I just say like, "Oh man, I'm so good at what I do," and people are just like, "Oh, all right." Like it's disarming, but it's also like it makes them more excited because they're like, "Oh, he must have really liked what he just did." And half the time I'm just goofing off at that point. I haven't done that in a few. I used to do that every wedding, and it was more a way for me to like, yeah, because I would be insecure about what I'm doing and everything like that. Then I'd just say the opposite of what I was feeling, and now it's funny, and now we can like move past it.
I'll definitely try that, Jarret. I'll definitely try that to say that.
Just talk about how cool you are, how great you are at what you do.
Definitely, I'll definitely keep that in mind. Can I tell you something though? Like, come back to your work, but like, can I explain? Like, whenever I watch your work and just like not compare it, but like just looking at other videographers' work, it's just that like your work is just like it flows like really greatly. How you put everything together, it like really flow. Like I feel like all your films are like that, and that's really that just shows your compassion into each of your film, and it's like I've not like each of your films are just like it flows perfectly. You know, there's no flaw to it, and it's
Thanks,
amazing, man. How you create this art. It's just like it's all you never you never disappoint. It's just like every work is just there, you know, you put 100%, and like it shows that you, like you mentioned, you go to your couples early, you know, you really show up there during the wedding day too, 100%, not just from doing your, you know, editing your work. But I really give you props on that, man. Like I've never seen someone make their film really flow through and do it perfectly.
Oh, thank you.
You do. It's
Honestly,
really,
I still battle with that too. Like I still think, you know, oh, that cuts too quick, you know, because I do cut a lot to the music. Just from coming from like a music video, but like it's just always felt right. And sometimes when the music picks up too quick, I'm like, am I cutting too fast right now? Like, is this too fast? And sometimes I try and back away from that. Sometimes I like go in full force and just start doing quick cuts. Like, and I still doubt those things. So thank you. I appreciate that.
no, really, it's just your work's amazing. Especially there's like the work that really pops out to me was the Valley View Farm that really like I can't mention it. Oh my god, I probably watched that more than 10 times, man. Especially your recent ones, and your work's just great. And also especially you taking the time to talk with me, someone that's not really in this business for a while. I really appreciate that, because you spent your time talking with me, especially like when I reached out to you a few months or maybe 1 year ago, but like I reached out to you, you really like responded back, like how you, like I appreciate that, because like I felt like a lot of, like I've reached out to videographers around this area and they never reach back to the success that they are at right now, but you're successful right now and you still like help out to people.
Yeah, well, I mean, that kind of comes back to like I wish I had someone's ear when I started. You know, I had a wedding photographer buddy, and you know he helped me kind of get into this world and everything. But as far as video, those are two different worlds. You know, we're doing two completely different. I never really had. I had to learn myself, and it would have been nice to have someone to like lend an ear a little bit and bounce some ideas off of it and everything. So I'm always here, man. You know that.
I know. I appreciate it, man. I could message you on Facebook and you're there. So thank you for your time. I don't want to take more time away. I think it's been an hour and I don't want to take more time from you, but thank you for spending the time with me, Jarret.
No problem. It was nice seeing you face to face, like I said.
I know, me too. It's like you're such a cool guy.
Oh, shut up now. Now you're making me blush.
All right, man. Thank you so much. I might just like look through over this again, and I might put it in my podcast. I'm trying to build a podcast, so hopefully, you know, it's fun doing this.
Yeah, no, this was a lot of fun. I'll do it again sometime.
Yeah, definitely.
Whiskey though, I ran out really quickly. I got to bring the bottle up the next time. That's how we do it on unemployment.
And I hope everything works out for you, especially with this craziness, man. Like financially, especially. Hopefully, it works out.
Thank you. You too.
I mean, I'm living with my parents, so I think I'm okay right now.
Well, I mean, it's.
I'm kidding.
You fail. You were trying to be a nurse, and that didn't work out.
Right.
As far as the timetable, I mean, honestly, you should be thankful right now that you can have the time to go to wedding videography, and you're not dominated and being stuck in that. You know, more power to people for choosing the medical profession. It's not quite what I would envision myself doing. But it's a dangerous time to be doing that, you know. So
yeah, definitely.
If you ask me, try again next year.
Definitely. Thank you, Jarret. Appreciate you for your time.
No problem. It was really nice chatting.
I'll see you.
Have a good one, man.
You too.